Hey everyone, and welcome back to the Daily Healing Journal, where I'm sharing my healing journey in real time. So, today there's just something on my mind, and I've tried to shake it. I went for a walk and I did some journaling, and which, by the way, you can get my blank journals that have one of my pieces of artwork on the front of it. It looks like this, and it's in the link in the description below, by the way, if you're interested. Journaling helps so much because you can also go back and review your thoughts if you need to. But today, what's on my mind is how much time I've wasted with the wrong people, specifically in my recent past, and in giving too many chances. And now I have wasted the most important years left of my childbearing years on people who were lying to me. And by lying, I didn't even realize all the lies until I was completely done with the relationship. And, it's really hurtful. It's beyond hurtful because these are years I can't get back. I believed this picture that this person painted, and they were such a sweetheart in the beginning. They were the sweetest person in the world. And I believed it. Little did I realize, days before I met this person, there was some really dark stuff going on in their life that I didn't ever know until I walked away from them, and then they exploded with the truth. And these people are the types of people who paint this beautiful picture of look at this life, and they love bomb you, and they're the sweetest. They'll bring you food and flowers and all these gracious gifts, and they'll talk about certain things, and sometimes they'll play the victim. In some of these instances in my past, some of these people have actually told me that their family is mean to them and they're not included in anything. And I had compassion for that. And so did my family, who they've managed to manipulate. And what's even crazier about this whole situation for me is I don't have my family anymore, because it's really crazy. They would make these statements like, I'm so jealous of your relationship with your family. And as the problems got stranger and harder, and I had to make a choice out of safety to walk away, this plan and scheme in the background of me just trying to get myself into a place where it's like, okay, if you walk away from someone that's causing a lot of turmoil in your life, and there's a lot of toxic behavior and substance abuse. Truffles, don't eat that, please. That's not good for you. Good girl. But chew on something else. Pretty please. Anyway, and I do have a kid, I guess. She's got 4 legs. But again, I'm going to be 40 this year, and I know that it's not impossible, but due to my past and then getting certain tests done, I've learned that my chances are pretty slim. And then, of course, my mind goes into this after all of this gaslighting, and now this person's managed to manipulate my family against me, which is not too shocking at this point because, other people in my past who helped bring me life had the exact same problems, but I don't believe we're as evil. And I think that, as we go through all these thoughts and try to figure out what happened, where we went wrong, and we just have to remember that we're on a journey that might only make sense in little small increments. And I mean, this is really heartbreaking. I'm hurt today. I'm trying to lift my own spirits. And again, you're going to see kind of the roller coaster wave of the things that I've gone through. And I really believed in this life. Okay. I believed this person. I believed in this person, quite honestly, maybe more than they believed in themselves, and many times, and maybe they made comments like, if it weren't for you, I would have been found face down dead in a swimming pool. I mean, these types of statements being made to me made me question, gosh, like I had even more empathy for this person more and more. And, finding out after even all of the different things that I went through, I mean, sometimes we go so far to, they might make really hurtful comments like, you didn't bring anything into this, listen, your truth, right? That I have to like speak to myself like, Kristen, you brought the entire financing to the table for trying to figure out how to detangle this mess with someone who believes their own lies. And it's really like, you get into these situations where everything stops making sense, and thank goodness for proof, and thank goodness for doing it the legal way in the beginning so that I wasn't screwed. But, it's I believed in this life. I believed in this beautiful home, and I believed it was a lot of adjusting I had to do into this life. I got therapy to figure out how to be a good mom and a good wife, and I was taking this so seriously, and all the time, the whole time, the other participants were not. And I had to keep begging. And, just because somebody has a job that you beg them to get so they didn't drink themselves to death at work behind the bar or something, doesn't mean that they're a good partner. I kept, and this is not just one relationship. This has happened, like I've mentioned many times. So for those of you who keep trolling my channel and leaving comments that I'm talking about a specific person, listen, just go away. Like, this isn't for you. And if you're spying on me to get information, this is serious stuff, you guys. I've been really abused. And if you don't want to believe that, I don't care. And if you want to side with all these other flying monkeys and try to rip me apart and try to haunt me, I can't even go to my home right now because it's not safe. So leave me alone. Okay. And I'm standing up for myself, and I'm standing up for other people who have gone through the same thing. If we are going through healing journeys and we're doing this as a team, and you want to sit here and poke fun or spy on me, I don't know why you're doing that to yourself. I don't know why you care. This nearly shattered me, this whole process. And I don't know if you've ever been in a situation where you are just begging this person to get professional help for years, okay? And then they start to spin these things on you. And as you're trying to get healthier and prepare for a baby and a wedding and take it all so seriously because you thought that you hit the lottery, you thought you hit the jackpot with this person, and you believed their story in the beginning, right? Maybe they said, I wasn't really loved, and it didn't work out. And then they tell you that they were cheating on their significant other with people that you know personally. This is the kind of trap mess that is so disgusting. And I am so glad that I found this stuff out. And what's crazy is I didn't find all of this out until after I had the guts to walk away. But I did everything I could. And I went to counseling, and I went to Al Anon, and I worked on myself. I worked on my health inside and out. And I'm sitting here today just trying to pat myself on the back and go, Kristen, it's okay. You did a good job. And now when I need my family the most, they're gone. They're gone. And I haven't said this publicly yet, but it's the most heartbreaking thing when people that you have been like this with your whole life side with an abuser. I am in disbelief today. I don't understand. And I don't necessarily want to understand anymore because it's so bad and I'm not an angry and sad person. And tonight I'm going to go see a friend, and I'm going to continue this healing, but I want this to be an example of just, you're allowed to purge these feelings. They're very real. And I used to try to lock them inside, and for so long I lied for these types of people. Why is that? Because I thought that this was going to be something that we could work out. And I kept convincing myself. And the reason was because I believed in the beginning stages of the love bombing. And what they might say, oh, my sister, my mom would love you. And it's like, okay, then why haven't I met them? Then why haven't, and I kept asking myself, okay, well, let's plan a trip to go see them. Let's meet them. And there's always an excuse of why not. And then all of a sudden, there's a completely different story as soon as they start to become exposed. And when these people sometimes they might threaten their own life and then turn it around and say, I didn't really say that. Or maybe, you've been advised to do something. Maybe, when a lot of times these people, they get worked up in their own craziness and their own toxic substance abuse or whatever it is. And if these people start to threaten their own life, which for me, I've heard this a lot from people that I love, and it scares the crap out of me. When somebody threatens their own life, it scares me. And so, you have to ask, whether it's law enforcement or someone, what do you do when you're trying to protect somebody's reputation for so long? You lie for them, but when it starts getting into these really scary and unsafe situations for not only you, but also for them, listen, I can't just stop having compassion and empathy for someone just because they've abused me. And that's why I kept making excuses and lying, because I convinced myself that I could fix it. And then I ended up apologizing for my own behavior, which was essentially a reaction to all this abuse. And then, when you're sitting there going, okay, this person's threatening their own life, what do? Will you put the things that they're threatening their life with in a safe place? And then they spin it around and they might say, you stole them. This is cuckoo stuff, okay? This is cuckoo stuff. And I was trying to keep up with lies and truth and this and that, and it's so dangerous for your mental health. And who thinks to film and record everything? And I started to try to do that because I thought I was losing my mind, right? This whole time I should have been filming and recording music, filming and recording artwork, filming and recording my life here in Key West. And instead I was trying to protect myself. This is insanity. And so if you have gone through something like this, or you're going through something like this, just give yourself a hug today, okay? And remember, you're not alone. And these are things that I'm not proud of, and I don't want to write about them. I just don't. And I've been in a couple of relationships in my past where these people have managed to lie. I was trying to protect them, so I didn't necessarily tell the entire truth, okay? To my friends, my family, because I thought I was going to work it out. And it gets scary when you start running out of time to have a kid, and then what? Then you have to get to know another person. And I'm not in a situation right now where I'm looking for a relationship, because I don't know what to look for anymore, because I made so many mistakes and gave way too many chances that this time is so precious. And I'm turning 40 this year, and that's not good for fertility. And I do have hope and I have faith, but we can't keep making excuses for abusers and addicts and narcissists and people who, even if they're not any of those things, if they're treating you badly, we have to stop making excuses. And I don't hate men, I don't hate women, I don't hate anybody, but I need to learn who I need to stay away from. And I believe that strong men are important for society, and I believe that strong women are important for society, but we must be able to be feminine, and we must be able to be safe enough to have children. And if we're busy trying to figure out who that person should be and not knowing if it's safe or not, and then you get to the point where it's like we're so career driven, and then in today's society, by the time we try to work this out, the clock is ticking, and these people take your childbearing years. And what's really crazy is one of the other people I was in an abusive relationship with told me that they felt guilty for taking childbearing years from one of their exes and didn't want to do the same thing to me. I should have listened to that. And you know what I did? I stayed with them. And then it got ugly, right? And then it got physically abusive. It doesn't mean that somebody's hitting you in the face every day. Physical abuse comes in a lot of forms, okay? Don't put up with it. Don't waste your time with these people. Stop giving them chances. So, right now I'm currently learning what to do and how to avoid these types of situations. And it's embarrassing that I've even allowed myself to be in them. And be careful, because these people might come across like the most clean-cut, sweet, kind people. But if you start to call them out on their crap and you stay too long, and they still try to manipulate you back into thinking that it's a safe zone, that they're gonna change, they promise they're gonna change by the time they do this, and then they're gonna change by the time you do this, and no. And then if you can help them, and maybe you'll save this house and you can live happily ever after and secure an unheard of loan because it's through your family, then this will happen. And then there'll be a ring. And then the cracks start to show, because for me, it's like, okay, well, let's get the show on the road and get healthy, and let's build this life that's safe for us and a beautiful, good environment for babies. And when this person fakes it behind certain masks and is doing other things on the sidelines, whether it's infidelity or hiding alcohol in strange places, drinking and driving, doing things that cross your boundaries and cross the things that okay, you don't want another DUI waking up in the hospital in handcuffs, do you? Do you? No. So let's not make those mistakes over and over again. Why is this so much to ask? Guess what? It is not too much to ask. So, thanks for visiting Key West. There they are, there they go. So these are the red flags that I wish I would have listened to, and I'm telling you right now, this is not a one-dimensional situation. These are things I saw in family members, these are things I saw in people I was in relationships with, and these are things that I've even seen in narcissistic friendships that I used to have. And, you know, as a performer, I get to see a lot of people who are in love with the spotlight. I always had to sort of push myself to be in the spotlight to do what I love. I'm not super comfortable speaking to the camera. And guess what? I'm pushing through that, doing this type of healing journey, and I'm using this to help heal myself. I'm using this to help you guys if you're going through something similar, because apparently this is going on a lot and people aren't making enough babies anymore. And it's stuff like this that's causing it to get in the way of women being able to have children. Not only is it getting in the way, but then it's also breeding toxic human beings. We have to stop. This is insanity. And I'm not okay with it. And there's not enough people out there speaking out about this. And so here I am. And I was not angry about it for a long time because I thought that I was going to work it out with this person. And I made my apologies that they did not deserve, by the way, but they got them anyway. And I was like kind of making it all my fault when I was still brainwashed. Meanwhile, this person was being intimate with someone else. It's crazy talk, okay? So all of this, and these are all the rats that we talk about that go in our head. You got to get it out, right? So this is my way of getting this out today, and I'm gonna take a shower and I'm gonna put my new outfit on and I'm gonna go see a friend and hang out with my little dog, Truffles, and just remember that thank God I didn't breed a child with a toxic person, and thank God I found out about the real truth before I decided maybe I would go back. And thank God I learned about the lies, and thank God I didn't sign up with someone or anyone who has managed to turn out to be one of the most hurtful people in the world to me. They tricked me, they fooled me. I was sold on this fake persona that was hidden behind material items, an act, and false truths. It was all to cover up lies and guilt and shame and whatever else. And shame on this person for cultivating a relationship with my family when all they did was talk bad about my family. That was actually the main reason I walked out on them, was they were criticizing my loved ones. I wasn't even walking away for this, and at the end, for the most selfish reasons that I should have. Meanwhile, I lost all these people. And you know what? Maybe it's not forever. And I don't judge them by this because I don't know what they believe. And someone that gave me life was so upset that I walked away from this abusive relationship that they threatened my life on Christmas Eve. And that's where I'm going to end today. The unthinkable can sometimes happen. The most hurtful things. But guess what? The truth matters. Do you hear me? Your truth is important. Your healing journey is important. And you just stick right there with your truth, okay? So no matter how bad it is, don't give up on yourself. Don't give up on what feels right in your heart, and you stand with your truth. And I hope more people will start talking about this because it's important. That's why I'm being so loud about this, because I may not be able to have a baby now, and I certainly don't know who I could trust to have one with. I have millions of miles of healing to do before I do the hard work of being a mom. I'm furious. I'm getting into that angry stage right now. That's what you're seeing. And I'm trying to not let it override the good, but it's important that I let this out. And you deserve to let it out too if you're going through something similar. And this doesn't have to be in relationships. This doesn't have to be with family. It can be with anybody or anything. And it's important that we own our truth. And I always stood up for everyone else, but I rarely stood up for myself. And here I am doing it, and you can do it too, okay? Stay strong. I'm sending you all the love from Key West. And don't forget, if you need to get your thoughts out, you can grab one of my journals on Amazon and just give yourself that hug today, okay? And remember that these things are temporary, and the moment that you figure out exactly what kind of life you want based on your values, your core values, nothing is gonna get in the way. It might be a bumpy ride getting there, okay? And right now I'm going through some bumps because I'm furious. that this person has stolen this from me. And the fact that I'm having to sit here with no apology, no nothing, which by the way, no apology would ever matter to me at this point, because every apology I ever got from this person was a lie. Don't let these people ruin your life, and don't let them steal a sacred thing that's part of human nature and evolution. We're born to reproduce and connect with each other. Don't make the same mistake I have, and if you have, it's okay. We'll ride this out together. I'm sending my love to you, and I'm hopeful that tomorrow I will have less anger and I will have less hurt. Every day I do get better, and getting through these emotions is part of the process. Don't avoid them. And a lot of times through therapy, I've been told that sometimes when you hit the angry stage, that's when the true healing starts to really show. And I've had to be strong through this because it's been so bad. This is not normal. And I stand here as an example, and I hope it's loud and clear. Don't let anybody steal your dreams. Don't stay if it doesn't feel safe. Don't stay if your boundaries are being pushed, and do not stay if you have to repeatedly ask somebody to respect you. You're not asking too much, okay? I hope that helps. I'll see you guys tomorrow.